Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Well, thanks for being here to hear my presentation. It's called SAP Incident Response. And before I start, let me tell you that this is not a typical presentation where the good guy wins in the end. No, these are like real examples from my own experiences on how the SAP systems are nowadays into the market. This is a disclaimer, no one reads it, but I need to put it there anyways, so no worries. So as they say, I'm Jordan Santarsieri. My background is in general penetration testing. I started doing general pen testing, vulnerability assessments, etc. I found a lot of vulnerabilities in SAP, Oracle, and IBM software. I'm not going to touch that anymore. Normally I get invited to speak on these kind of conferences, and it's a pleasure to be here in ROOTCON. I have been in the past in Black Hat, Hack in the Box, SECTI, etc. and EcoParty, if I don't mention that. And I had the pleasure to secure more than 1,000 SAP implementations around the world. I had the pleasure to work alongside with the biggest ONG in the planet and a lot of military institutions, Fortune 500 companies, etc. As they say, I am the founder of Bixer. It's a company that I founded a year ago, where we focus on SAP, Oracle software, pen testing, trainings, and we do a lot of forensics for the government and for some other companies. And because of that, is that I'm bringing you my real life histories. Another thing before we jump in, we're now expanding to APAC. We have a big presence in Malaysia and Singapore, not in the Philippines, so if you're curious, just talk to us. So what I'm bringing for you today, apart of some exploits that I'm going to share. First is a really brief introduction to SAP, so we can all be in the same level. And second, I bring for you some misconceptions. Take the SAP word away, and you might be familiar with these phrases. The first misconception that we're going to be seeing is we have never had an SAP security incident before. Okay. Another misconception, we thought that SAP cyber attacks were not real. And finally, another common one, the probability of an SAP cyber attack is low. Okay, we're going to see. So, without any introduction, we're going to go directly for the SAP part. So the first question that you might be thinking for those of you that are not very related to SAP is, okay, what is SAP? Well, SAP is an acronym. It stands for System, Applications, and Products in Data Processing. So no wonder everyone just said SAP or SAP. It's a German company, was founded in 1972, and they were actually engineers for IBM. They were working on an ERP for IBM. I don't know why, but the project gets cancelled, and the guy says, okay, wait a minute, we do have something really cool here. Why don't we just split up, create our own company, and we just develop this new concept, this new ERP. And that, guys, that's one of the most successful business decisions in the history of software. Why? Because SAP now has more than 88,000 customers worldwide. They have, 88,000 employees worldwide. Customers, they have a little bit more. They have 378,000 customers worldwide. They're everywhere in almost every single country on this world. And the most important part is that 87% of the Forbes Global 2000, meaning like the biggest companies in the world, 87% of those companies are using SAP right now. And some of them, they even expose SAP directly to the internet. Okay, so for this brief introduction, we can divide the SAP solutions in two. From one side, we have the enterprise solutions. Enterprise solutions are where your regular workers in the company are going to log in to do their work, like all your human beings. All the enterprise solutions, and we're going to see next what it means, are NetWeaver based. If you only have one SAP system in your company, you have the SAP ERP, or maybe you have heard about the enterprise resource planning. Why? Because it's the core, it's the heart of SAP. If you are managing credit cards, they're going to be there. If you are paying your employees, if you're doing all your HR activities in SAP, they're going to be there. Vacations, promotions, bank accounts, purchase orders, that's the heart of SAP. And from the other side, we have like supporting solutions. These supporting solutions are just meant to provide support to the enterprise solutions. Most of these solutions are not NetWeaver based, and in general here you have like technical users. You won't find the broad population of users working on these particular solutions. What is this NetWeaver that I keep mentioning? Well, NetWeaver is the framework where SAP is built in. It's the most important technology on the SAP world. And NetWeaver is service-oriented. It means that each stack, well, we're going to talk about it, ABAP and Java, will have its own set of services. Those services will be listening in their particular ports, and something that is very curious about SAP and this kind of ERP systems is that all those services, most of them, they have proprietary protocols with almost no documentation whatsoever. So this is briefly how the SAP system looks like. When you see there that says SAP application layer is the NetWeaver framework. And the NetWeaver framework will regulate how SAP speaks to the operating system. Always, if you are at the NetWeaver layer, you can execute operating system commands. And also, it will regulate how the NetWeaver framework speaks with the database. There is always a trust relationship between the SAP application servers and the database. We're going to see a little bit more of that later. So what does it mean? It means that 75% of the structure of all the systems that you see here, the enterprise solutions, is exactly the same. So for a red teamer, that is really good, because it means that if you find a vulnerability, for example, on SAP CRM, you have 75% chances that that same vulnerability is going to work on the ERP system. For the defenders, well, that's a headache. So, almost finalizing with the basic concepts, things that you need to know to understand what the DAX are going to be describing. SAP transaction. What is an SAP transaction? Let me tell you that unfortunately, moving through SAP is not point and click. You have to remember these codes. For you to understand it better, it's kind of like a trigger to SQL. You type the code and that code will call a program. You can have default transactions come in default programs, custom transactions come in default programs, and custom transactions come in custom programs. It's a little bit complicated, but it's really good. Then we have the SAP programs. There are many, but for the sake of this talk, we're gonna be focusing on the most common one that also, to make things a little bit more complicated to understand, they're also called ABAP. ABAP is a proprietary language that SAP created. It's funny, you're going to see it later, but it's very similar to QBasic for the oldies here in the audience. And finally, we have the SAP RFCs, that stands for RSAP Remote Function Call. You can see them as APIs, also called in ABAP, that they can be called locally from the SAP system to itself, or remotely from one SAP system to another, or from your Python script, or your .NET program, Java program towards the SAP system. Most of these function calls are authenticated, but some of them are not, and they're really easy to abuse to exploit. So, where we are here, why someone will actually try to attack the ERP systems? Well, first of all, it will run the business critical processes, even production lines. We have a customer that he said that if the SAP system will go down for 2 minutes, he has to throw away all the production line of that morning. And that for him, it was $7 million. Just a 2-minute outage. It contains sensitive information, as I said before, personal identifying information, social security numbers, credit cards, payroll. You can get a free vacation if you have an SAP system. And most importantly is where the money is. Everyone knows, even the attackers, that SAP equals money. And that's why it makes very appealing for attackers to perform espionage, sabotage, and fraud attacks over the SAP systems. So I told you before that I have like real life scenarios. Those are incidents that happen in real life, but of course, for respect and consideration for the victims, I'm not going to give you the name of the companies. I'm going to give you some descriptions, but not like the name of the company per se. First misconception, we never had an SAP security incident before. Perfect. What's the scenario here? This was like a big company in the United States. They do a lot of films. And they were totally hacked. Apparently, someone compromised a domain, a global domain admin for the entire domain, The attackers use that level of privileges to pretty much spread everywhere, and they compromise everything, like switches, workstations, servers, you call it, the attackers had control over it. This company did something that I never saw before. They created what is called a white room. What does it mean? They literally deprecated all their technology. This is a really big company, but they deprecated all the technology, and they say, okay, only whatever gets installed on that little room, on our white room, will be allowed to stay in the organization. It was crazy. You couldn't use your smartwatch, you couldn't use your laptop, pen drive, cell phone. You need to leave everything behind before you can actually enter this white room. So the main concern here was to know if SAP was especially hacked. Remember, these guys already were domain admins or the entire domain. So they know that they had the access, but they wanted to know if they went into the SAP system particularly, especially for the credit cards and personal identifying information. And because of that, they give us as a target the ERP, because remember, it's where the credit cards are. The only caveat here is that we were not part of the forensics team that did the forensics over the database. That was on charge of another company that are very famous here in the US, and the only thing that they do is forensics. So whenever you hear this misconception of we never had an SAP security incident before, you need to start asking some questions like, can you really be sure? In Java, remember this stack that is mainly used for front end, the security audit trail does come enabled by default. But in AVA, the important one, the one that is the back end, the one that actually holds the money, most of the security audit trails do not come enabled by default. So whenever you hear this misconception, the first thing that you need to ask is, okay guys, but do you have the security audit log actually enabled? I can tell you that 90% of the times that you ask that question, the answer will be no. But let's be kind here, let's suppose that they do have it enabled. I don't know if you remember, but I told you that each one of the services in SAP has its own protocol. Well, also, it has its own way to log for security events. And of course, by default, those events do not come activated. So you need to go one by one and activate the security audit trail. If you ask, again, your potential customer, hey, but you guys have those services with the security audit log enabled, 95% of the cases they will say no. But let's be kind again. Let's suppose that they say yes. Then you do the final question. Okay, suppose that you have all the logs activated. Is someone actually grabbing those logs and paying attention, reviewing those logs? Absolutely not. Almost no one is doing that, more or less. So this puts the companies right now in the market in a really tough position in order to face an incident against SAP. So what we did here? We knew that they were compromised, we knew that they were in a tough spot, so the first thing that we did, and we were very surprised that they say yes, is okay, give me all the virtual machines that are composing the SAP system. Why all the virtual machines? Well, SAP will have what is called the central instance, and in order to be kind of like a load balancer, we have different application servers. To make things even more complicated, the logs can be divided on each one of the application servers. So if you want to do a good job, you literally have to ask for all the logs, for all the services in every single application server that is out there. For us, it was a total of 4 virtual machines. They give us the VMDK, like the disk, and we had to mount it and start reviewing, okay, what logs do we have? I put in this table for you, so when you go back to your company, you know where to look, exactly the path to look to see if you have the logs or not. Let's see what these guys have. The first thing that I looked was, okay, the security audit log, the most important audit trail there. It doesn't come by default. Do they have it? Yes, they have it, but partially enabled. Very, very few events. Good, something is better than nothing. The gateway log, a very, very important service in SAP that if you don't secure it, anyone that actually can reach the gateway will be ended up executing operating system commands under the privileges of the SAP system and even jump to the database. Okay, do you guys have the logs? No. Ooh, bummer. So, message server, another very important component in SAP that if you don't secure it, someone can register itself as an application server and perform man in the middle, getting all the traffic towards the SAP system. Do you guys have the logs? No.
Right now.
Good, but at least tell me that you have the vetting system logs. No.
17 right now.
So, as you can see, we're like really, really far from an ideal scenario. We just have a handful of logs. We only have the security audit log. So what is this security audit log that I keep mentioning? Well, these are like SAP works. Basically, the security audit log is a program inside SAP that will provide an audit trail for auditors or security professionals to review the events that are happening in SAP. How you interact with the security audit log? Well, with three different transactions. SM19, you're going to use it to configure the events. For example, failure logon attempts, if the user gets logged, etc. SM20, and between quotes, you're going to use that to review the events. And we're going to see why I'm saying between quotes. And finally, with the SM18, you're going to be deleting the logs. So you might be thinking, wait a second, Jordan, why are you mentioning deleting those logs? Those logs are supposed to be archived. Well, let me tell you that the security audit log is definitely not one of the best pieces of software that SAP has. There are a lot of ways to bypass the security audit log, even if it is fully configured. Don't get me wrong, you do have to have this enabled because otherwise, right, something is better than nothing. But there are a lot of ways to bypass the security audit logs. And there is even worse. By default, the security audit log will log until 100 megabytes per day. If you don't rotate the logs, if you don't take it away from the file system, SAP will stop logging for the day. That's it. So you as an attacker, you can choose send garbage, make sure that you send at least 100 megabytes worth of garbage, do your attack, and that's it. No one will find out because the security audit log go to a limit. What did we have to do? Well, we really soon realized that it was not possible to review all the events with the transaction SM20. Why? Because we had like gigabytes and gigabytes of information. That thing was exploding every time that we wanted to see something there. So what we needed to do is first create a parser for each one of the logs that, by the way, of course, they're not standard. Each one of the services that you have that are producing of logs will have a completely different syntax. Some of them will be plain text, some of them will be binary. So you have to create a special. Oh, I know what's coming. Okay, making things more interesting. So once you start processing that, you need a way or something powerful to correlate all the events that were happening inside. We did it with Splunk. It was the only thing that we had available. Of course, you can use your SIEM, whatever you have, QRadar, etc. But we use the Splunk, and it's really good. We already knew the syntax of the queries. So for each one of the events, for each line in the log, we created this gigantic structure where it will give you the name of the SAP system, the hostname, the source, what user was triggering the event, the payload of the event, the console, etc. We started with, to give you a number, with 5 gigabytes, and we ended with 250. So if you're going to do a forensics, make sure that you have a very powerful disk. Once we put the stuff in Splunk, we started to see a very common attack pattern, and just there, we were able to verify that inside the SAP system. What you see there is someone actually trying passwords for a user that is being used for the data dictionary. That user inside the system is SAP_all. That's the profile, the privileges. That for you to have an idea, it's like being root in a Unix box. You get the type user, you can do whatever you want there. So we saw this very common pattern attack, like someone trying, fail logon attempt, fail logon attempt, fail logon attempt, but we follow a little bit and we saw this. Password change for user, they did. Actually, someone got in and changed the password. So this is like the typical brute force scenario. We kept digging inside the log to see, okay, what this guy was doing. The first thing that that person was doing is to invoke another transaction that is the SEA. It's the ADA developer workbench. If you're an SAP developer, you go to this transaction to code SAP programs. And then we saw a call to a function that changed everything. That person was calling the rs_testFrame_call program. It doesn't say much, but it changed everything. Why? At that point, I thought I was the only one that had that 0 day to bypass the security audit log. That program will let you execute, call another function calls without logging anything, totally bypassing the security audit log. So the profile of the attacker completely changed. We started from someone that was just trying a default user, and now is invoking that to bypass the security audit log. Wow. But don't believe me. Let's see it together. I'm actually virtualizing 2 different SAP systems here on this machine. This is the SAP GUI. If I stop messing up with it, oh, okay. This is the SAP GUI, and I don't know how much we're going to be able to see it. And let's do exactly the same that this person was doing. Garbage. Garbage. Okay, that person got it. I see it again. Give it a second. Good. RS test frame underscore call. I will show you briefly how ABAP looks like for you to see that it's literally very similar to Cubase. You execute it with the most intuitive button in history, this guy, and then you need to put the function that you want to bring. One of the most common and widely used function is RFC underscore read underscore table. What does it do? Easily, it allows you to read tables. You choose with the table that you want to see. You execute here. You get the result directly from the database. This is what the attacker would have done. Okay, so let's see now if the security audit log is actually doing its job. Let me close here. Close in here. I'm actually going to use another completely different user. We go to SM20. We even reread the logs to make things even more interesting. We don't see anything about the code of the program. Absolutely nothing. This is a way to completely bypass the security audit log. Okay. We continue. Another misconception. We thought that SAP cyber attacks were not real. Perfect. This scenario is a little bit different because it happened in a government. The north part of the American continent, it's a country in the north part, they get the surprise visit of a federal law enforcement agency, and they say, well guys, I have the news for you. Your platform has been totally compromised, and even worse, someone is using your platform, the platform of the government, to distribute malware. The only particularity is that we know how the tip of the spear was. We know what system was compromised first. It's the SAP system that you have here. That it was a dual stack. Dual stack meaning that is ABAP, it has all the ABAP services and all the Java services as well. The law enforcement, they also say that this was a sponsored state attack, but they don't provide any evidence to support that claim. That's it. They say that, hey, this is related to a sponsored state attack. They give us, of course, the nationality that they believe that they were attacking them, but that's it. They go. The main concern of these guys is to make sure that no personal identifying information got acquired by the attackers. Why? Because by law, if we could prove that this information was spread, that the social security numbers were obtained by the attackers, the governor of that state would have to go public and say, we got hacked. No one wants to do that. The second goal here was, okay, a part of making sure that someone didn't steal our stuff, we want to know how actually happened. Before we arrived there, we knew, because of the characteristics of the SAP system, we already had a theory, but of course we needed to actually prove it. So, same procedure as before, we ask for the virtual machines, we mount the drives. You will notice that we have more logs now because, of course, we have more services. And we start doing the same work as before. Security audit log doesn't come by default. Do we have it? No. Oh, bummer. Gateway log, very important one. Do we have it? No. Mesh server, do we have it? No. Oh, we only have the Java logs. And in this case, this SAP system was running on Windows, so we had also the operating system logs. We were lucky on this one because we suspected that the attack that it was used was over the Java side. So at least we got that. We did the same as before, we parsed our stuff, we put it on Splunk, and automatically, as you can see here, we start seeing really good indications of compromise. People executing who am I, shutting down the firewall, downloading weird binaries through the PowerShell, a lot of shady stuff here. So why this happened? At this point, we were sure that we knew what the attackers were using. There is something in SAP that is called invoker servlet, that it was created just to make lazy developers to deploy their stuff quickly. What the invoker servlet does is it lets you call a web application by its name, in this case my servlet, like you can go to jordan.com/myservlet and you will be served with that page, or you can invoke by the class. It will be exactly the same if you go to jordan.com/mypackage.example.myservlet. You will be served with the exact same web application. There is a problem. How you secure these web applications? Well, there is a web.xml file that contains the security clauses. And those clauses, they are tied to what is called the URL pattern. As the people that were securing these files were not expecting this invoker servlet, what they did? They say, okay, every time someone invokes my servlet, please ask for authentication. That's it. But they completely forgot about the invoker servlet. So if you go to jordan.com/mypackage.example.myservlet, guess what happens? You get to execute whatever that application is holding without providing any kind of authentication. And it's also one of the demos that I have for you. First, I'm going to show you. This is the exploit. This is exactly the URL. Target 2 is the SAP system, also another SAP system that I have running on this machine. As you can see, it's extremely simple to do. It's just a GET request. You can do who am I, for example. Sorry. And you will see that you will be running operating system commands under the privileges of the SAP system. At this point, I can shut down the SAP system, corrupt the kernel, I can jump to the database, I can run whatever I want. And remember, this is an attack that can be performed directly from the internet. So at this point, it was quite clear how these guys got compromised. The first thing that we need to do there was saying, okay guys, wait, we found out this is a 5-year-old exploit, shame you didn't patch. You need to apply these security notes. Security notes is kind of like a Windows patch. We need to do it right away. Why? Because the SAP system was still exposed to the internet. So everyone, by the time that we were working there, everyone could just keep executing stuff. The only caveat, and this is a very common thing in the SAP world, is that they need to restart the SAP system for the changes to take effect. So finally, we were in the right position to find out what happened and how it happened. Well, yes, it was a 5-year-old exploit. There were at least 3 different attackers on that system. How did we find out? Well, we were analyzing the heuristics of the command. The people that were there were actually executing. They had totally different objectives, syntax, style, etc. Lucky for them, we proved that no lateral movement and no stealing of personal identifying information was obtained by the attackers. And that's exactly why you would never hear about this intrusion before. As they didn't have the obligation by law to go public, they just didn't. The final misconception. The probability of an SAP server attack is low. We'll see. The scenario. Here it was a little bit different. We were working with the IT department of a big organization back in the US. They were like gigantic electricity company. These guys had an incident a couple months ago, and they suspected that the SAP systems also were compromised. Of course, this statement was completely refused by the SAP administrators. They say no, our SAP systems are spotless, nothing happened. The problem is that these IT guys, IT security guys, didn't have enough knowledge nor the tools to actually verify that statement or dispute the statement. What did they do? They call us and they say, okay, first we want to do a pen test. We want to know how easy it is to break into our SAP systems. And second, we want to do a forensic analysis to make sure that our SAP systems were actually safe. In order to do that, they provide us with a time frame, a period start to the end that we should be analyzing. That is where, more or less, they had the incident in the past. So the probability of an SAP cyber attack is low. Every time that they hear that, they say yes and no. Yes, it's true if you compare it with the likelihood of someone attacking your cell phone or your workstation. Yeah, the skill level that you need to attack those things are lower than to attack an SAP system. But there is a caveat with that. Look at this. This that I'm showing you is a 16-year-old exploit. It was reported 16 years ago. The exploit is in the interaction between the SAP system and the Oracle databases. And this exploit works like a charm. 95% of the SAP systems that are running Oracle nowadays, they are vulnerable to this exploit that will allow you to execute queries without providing username and password. We're going to see it. So why this is happening? There is something in SAP that is called the OPS dollar sign. It's an authentication mechanism now deprecated by Oracle, but SAP still requires it. Basically, that mechanism is telling Oracle that someone, somewhere, already authenticated the user. Someone already did it, so SAP do not bother about it. Perfect. At the installation time, when you create the SAP, you install the SAP system, an operating system user called SID-ADM, SID is the name of the SAP system, is generated in the operating system and is marked as OPS dollar symbol, meaning that this user can use this authentication mechanism. There is a caveat. That user can connect to the Oracle database without credentials, but can only retrieve the content of one table and one table only. That table is called SAP user. And the content is what you see there. It has the real database user and an encrypted password. I know, this is really confusing and it looks really ugly. So, in order to help you understand, I created kind of like a diagram. First, the SAP system, the application server, connects to the Oracle database with this OPS dollar symbol mechanism and says, hey, Oracle, I'm using this mechanism, so no worries, someone already authenticated me somewhere. Oracle says, oh, cool, here's the encrypted password for the database user that I have. The SAP system will decrypt that password and connect again with another user and the decrypted password. And that other user has full privileges over the SAP schema, meaning that you can go for the caches, credit cards, modify salaries, corrupt the database, etc. Let's see how hard it is to exploit this issue. I created another demo for it. The first thing that you're going to do is you need to find out the name of the SAP system. This is really easy. There are like 1,000 ways to do it. And you're going to create inside your system the SID-ADM user. In my case, my SAP system is called TL1, so I just created a TL1 ADM user, as you can see down here. And we're going to be using the SQL Plus. I'm pretty sure everyone is familiar with the SQL Plus. It's the regular SQL client for SAP. And this is like the extremely difficult command that you need to run. SQL Plus / target1 in this case is the SAP system, 1527 the port, and TL1 the database that I want to connect. There you go. Sorry. You get the encrypted password. What we did was to reverse engineer the algorithm, that it was a variation of triple this. You get the plain text password, you connect again, you are the master of the database. Anyone that connects to the database and compromises the database, pretty much game over. SAP stores pretty much everything there. It's just that easy. So I have 10 minutes, I have to speed up. So why this is happening? Well, there is a parameter that is called remote OS 10 that isn't true. Oracle says, hey, no, this is all wrong, you need to shut it off. This thing has to be enough. But guess what? SAP needs it enough to work. If you disable it, it's even worse, because you will have a hard-coded user inside the kernel with SAP starter tree and password, really complicated one, SAP. So what you need to do, basically, you need to restrict who can connect to the listener. You can even do a firewall, or you can modify the DNS names.ora, and that's it. Of course, we continue working. We started, as we were already there, we proved that it was really easy to compromise. We started to look for backdoors. We found a ton of these. Basically, people downloading stuff, executing shell scripts. It was a mess. So at that point, we were back and say, okay, guys, yes, you were compromised. The compromise came inside the SAP system. Someone put those backdoors in there. They moved to QA, and they ended up in production. We cannot tell you, because you don't have the logs, we cannot tell you at what point those compromises happened. We cannot tell you when that person put the backdoor there. What we recommend here is that you start analyzing the whole set of SAP systems, because we cannot guarantee that someone is not spreading out. Okay, to wrap up, what you can expect for these real forensic scenarios in SAP? Well, let me tell you that more often than not, your job will be very, very difficult. Expect a lot of data sources out there. Expect tons and tons of gigabytes, if not terabytes, of information. You need to plan ahead. You need a scene. You need a really gigantic disk. At the beginning, I was a fool that tried to do this with my MacBook Air. Forget it. I had to bring my gaming laptop to actually have a possibility. Something that is extremely important. You can never guarantee 100% that the SAP system has not been compromised. You can do the other way around. You can find evidence of compromise, perfect, but SAP is so big, has so many entry points, and so many ways to bypass the security audit trails that if you say, yeah, your SAP system is 100% fine, you're lying. And finally, prevent. It's much more expensive to do a forensic analysis than just do a pen test or an audit from time to time. It will save you a lot of headaches. Okay, so that was all. Thank you for listening to me, and if you have questions, I will be happy to answer.